This is Andy Thomas from the Masculine Journey podcast, where we discover what it means to be a wholehearted man. Your chosen Truth Network podcast is starting in just seconds. Enjoy it, share it, but most of all, thank you for listening and for choosing the Truth Podcast Network.
This is the Truth Network.
If you believe marriage is between a man and a woman, as God in the Bible defines it, and you don't, and you want to stay in that denomination, then you have to change your belief or you have to leave. And the United Methodist Church has sent out on their national website, basically, go ahead and leave if you will not marry a man and a man and his mom, whatever. I mean, and I'm asking you that, how far is it going to go? Want to handle this with grace, but also at what point do we stand up for what's right and be counted? And is it uncompassionate? Is it mean if a man wants to marry his mom to say, of course you can do that? Is it to say, no, you can't do that? I mean, is that loving to let someone careen off a cliff without saying, hey, hold on a second, time out? So we're going to get into that. But first, I got to introduce you to a friend of mine named Gabe Joseph, who is helping a lot of ministries and businesses get money back that is theirs, that's sitting in the coffers of the IRS, and he's been doing this for some time. His name is Gabe Joseph, and he's actually been helping us here. And there's a lot of questions. There's a lot of confusion about this ERTC, Employee Retention Tax Credit. Did I say that right, Gabriel?
You sure did.
Wow, that's rare.
Thank you so much for having me on
I
today.
can't get that stuff right. We got a hot hour today. You're on the front end. You're not in the heat of the controversy as much, my brother, because you want to give away millions of dollars to people,
yes,
which is like this. There's got to be something. There's got to be like a right hook following that uppercut, or he's ducking and he's cloak and dagger. What's cooking? But you have helped businesses and ministries already get legitimate checks. It's not a scam. It's not too good to be true. Tell us briefly in a nutshell what it is you're up to with this.
Well, Stu, you and I saw each other in Florida back in February, and I just started with this. But in January of this year, I was introduced to the Employee Retention Tax Credit through my friend Congressman Billy Long. Mm-hmm. He just retired. Actually, he helped write this law on January 3rd of 2021. So back when Donald Trump was president, he wanted all businesses during COVID to not just to retain their employees, but he said, look, in order to do that, don't pay payroll taxes. Well, when it got into negotiations, what Congress ended up doing is saying, that's a good idea, but let's make the employers pay their payroll taxes and then make them ask for a refund. And what's happened is that about 97% of all businesses, nonprofits, any entity that paid payroll taxes in 2020 and 2021, about 97% haven't even asked for this back. And this isn't a government handout. This is a self-paid for process over 6 quarters of the year, 3 in 2020 and 3 in 2021. So those of us that pay payroll taxes, that have run businesses, understand that for every employee you have, you pay 15% of their total salary in payroll taxes. So if you take 6 times 15, that's 90%. And what the government's doing through the Employee Retention Tax Credit is they're giving you 70% of that 90% that you paid in payroll taxes, back to you if you just apply and ask.
Wow. So it's really a way to, so it's payroll, it's from before. Now, what right out of the gate, what about people that are like, man, I don't want to take any government money. I don't want any government handouts. Gabriel, this is not a Christian thing to do. This is a socialistic, communistic. What about believers that have that compunction? What do you say to them?
Well, it says in the scriptures to give unto Caesar what is Caesar's and give unto God what is God. Well, you've paid these payroll taxes and Caesar's willing to give it back. You're not taking my money and your money, and this is a government handout from somewhere else. This is money that was paid for in your payroll taxes. Let me put it into perspective for you. If you just paid an employee $36,000 a year, which is about $10,000 per quarter, let's round it up to $40,000 per year. That's the payroll taxes that you paid on that amount over 6 quarters is what you're getting back. The government isn't giving it all back to you. You can get in 2020 up to $5,000 per employee per year, but that's only 50% of people that you paid up to $10,000 for the full year.
Oh, wow. So it's by employee. Now, you may have a question about this if you're listening for your church. Do churches qualify, ministries, businesses, just about anybody?
Churches qualify. Churches are my favorite folks. I deal a lot with Christians, Stu, and their salvation is bought and paid for and free. And this is a way that takes another step.
Okay, but he's Gabriel Joseph, and he's talking about this. This is what he does. We'll tell you more about the website, about his organization that's working with ministries and businesses doing this. I may not have articulated that the best, but in effect, you have already to date given millions of dollars through your company. You've helped people get this money back that's kind of already theirs, right?
Correct. I've done $110 million since January, Stu.
So the ministry, and of course the CTC group, I guess you've got a website, myctcgroup.com, and it's one of those things, if it's too good to be true, well, this actually, you're saying is true. Now, the controversy going way back to COVID and when people were getting their tax credits, all that, some folks refused money from the government. Others, like, it helped keep them alive. But this is a carryover from all that. This is an additional thing that a lot of people didn't know about. They thought, oh yeah, I got everything. Well, you didn't. So you're saying there's still a big pool of money out there, Gabriel. Is that right?
That is true. It's not a big pool of money. It's your money. It went into the Social Security Fund. And this is the law. Most importantly, this is based on IRS code and IRS law. It is a paper file return. You're refiling your what are called your 941 payroll taxes. My group, Lifetime Advisors and Commerce Terrorist Consulting, we come alongside you. I deal a lot with Christians, Stu. Their salvation is bought and paid for and free. Unfortunately, they expect everything else to be. So I do all the work up front for free. You don't pay us anything until you get your money. And this has gone from it's too good to be true to now it's putting me at a competitive advantage with my ministry and my business if I don't do it. There's 1.1 million applications in backlog at the IRS. If this wasn't true and valid and active, there wouldn't be that many out there. But the sad part is there's 10 million more of just small businesses that haven't even heard of this. 9 out of 10 people that I talk to never heard of this or don't think they apply. And there's a big reason for that. When they initially passed this in 2020, Congress did what they normally do. My friend Billy Long's fond of saying Congress is famous for doing one or two things: absolutely nothing and overreacting. And what they did in 2020, they made it so restrictive that nobody qualified. But in 2021, on January 3rd, they changed the rules. And they made it so that virtually everybody that paid taxes, whether you're a for-profit, non-profit, as long as you paid American payroll taxes, you should fill out our free survey and just see. You're arguing out of silence. Why guess when you can know? So
it's no harm, no foul. So an executive sitting there, a senior pastor of a church, 20 employees, staff members, whatever. Maybe you got a Christian school. If you don't apply, what you don't know what you don't know. So if they call you, you can start them on that process. Make sure the payroll, all the information, every T is crossed, I is dotted, and then that you go through this exploratory process, and then. How far down the road do they actually get a legitimate check that's their money already from the government?
Well, one of the reasons, it takes 90 to 120 days working with my groups, Stu. Right now there's a backlog, I already told you, of about 1 million. But we have retired IRS agents working with us at Commerce Terrorist Consulting and Lifetime Advisors that actually shepherd these through. My favorite story is one of our guys actually walked into an IRS processing facility, saw a pallet of processed checks in the back of the room. The staff there thought it was blank checks. He went because we were monitoring to make sure if what was happening, because the IRS had approved this refund. He walked in and he goes, "How about if you guys mail this pallet of checks?" There was over $1 billion of checks on that pallet.
Oh, my.
But that's the kind of support that you get from us. This is an IRS-issued check that comes to you from the mail. We do an audit for you because we give you a 5-year audit and legal guarantee. We stand behind it all for 5 years. And so, this is a gift. I view this as a passion project for me, Stu. As a believer in Jesus, I've raised money from a lot of things. But I got to tell you, the most difficult thing for me right now is giving people money because the enemy wants to rob, steal, and lie. He would love you to leave your money with the government so that they can use this to promote alternative lifestyles.
Well, they're so effective with our money. We got to make sure they have as much as possible. I mean, they're so effective, balancing the budget, keeping us out of debt, keeping China from owning half of everything we have. So what, of course, speaking tongue in cheek, Gabriel, now how do you guys get paid? You guys get like a small fee, consulting fee, once the clients, the ministries, and the businesses that you helped recover the funds, you get something out of that pool?
Thank you, Stu. Thank you for asking that question. What I do is I come up to a pastor of a church and I said, and my favorite of churches, I go, "Pastor, if I can get you $500,000 because you have 20 employees, would you be willing to pay me a finder's fee when you get paid of that?" And, we take a percentage of what you get paid.
Okay,
but
I got
9% of it comes to you. So if you don't get paid, we don't get paid.
Yeah, very fair. And you do the work. You help people think about it. And in fact, you bring it up to people like me who had no idea it was out there and had there's a lot of misinformation, a lot of misunderstanding about it. And again, people don't want to be dependent on the government. Too many of us are, and we that hasn't worked out too well. And we don't want the government in more control of things. So this empowers you're empowering people to get funds that will empower them to be able to continue to advance the kingdom in their mission, whatever that may be, in their business or ministry. Now, let me ask you, if anyone has a question, we've just got a couple more minutes left with Gabriel Joseph and Commerce Terrace Consulting. Give us the website for if folks want to go and check you out, reach out to you. They're curious about it. Maybe they've heard some of your messages on some of the participating stations that carry this program. What's the best contact information? They may just have a question. No question is a dumb question.
Correct. myctcgroup.com, myctcgroup.com. Stu, we're so passionate about this. One of the reasons why we're advertising on Truth Network, and we are paying for that, is that this is good stewardship, okay? And there is fraud in this area. Wherever there is, the enemy wants to try to take that from you or make people discouraged about it. Yeah. And so, we've been in this business for 20 years. We've done over 10,000 of these applications. We've processed $1.5 billion successfully. And this program is going to go through August 15th, 2021. I hope that I personally get to do $1 billion worth of work because it's just giving people their money back.
myctcgroup.com. Thanks for being on, my friend.
This is the Truth Network.